सर लोकल करो Dear student, in the last previous lecture, we have discussed the salient features of the vibrational rotational spectra. Just recall that the important salient features of vibrational rotational spectra. As you know that vibrational rotational spectra is obtained we discussed that the vibrational rotational spectra arise from transition of the molecule from one vibrational level to the other vibrational level. Means when molecule makes a transition from one vibrational level to the other vibrational level, it will give the vibrational spectra. The second feature that vibrational spectra is obtained in near infrared region. Wavelength is 1 micron to 100. So this vibrational spectra is observed. Vibrational spectra is observed in the near infrared region of wavelength 1 micron to 100 micron. The third thing, important feature is that it is obtained only for heteronuclear molecule. The vibrational spectra is obtained for heteronuclear molecule which possess the permanent dipole moment. Okay, so these are the important features. In the last lecture we have discussed that vibrational spectra arise from transition of the molecule from one vibrational level to the other vibrational level. When molecule makes a transition from one vibrational level to the other vibrational level, it will produce the vibrational spectra. Vibrational spectra is observed in the near infrared region whose wavelength is 1 micron to 100 micron. On the other hand, rotational spectra is obtained in the far infrared region, while vibrational spectra is observed in near infrared region. Like pure rotational spectra, this vibrational spectra is observed only for heteronuclear molecule which possess the permanent dipole moment. And I have discussed that. If you see the nature of the vibrational spectra of molecule like HCl, it consists a intense band, is called fundamental band, and it is accompanied by number of weak bands called overtone. This is first overtone, this is second overtone, this is third overtone. Okay, we have discussed this, that the spectra is the vibrational spectra of molecule like HCl consists an intense band called fundamental band, and this fundamental band is accompanied by a weak bands called first overtone, second overtone, third overtone. Why we are getting fundamental band and overtones, that we are going to discuss in this lecture. Okay, next you have also seen under high resolution it is observed that this fundamental band is composed of so many lines. This fundamental band is composed of a number of lines arranged in a particular manner. Okay. At the center, one line is missing. At the center of this bunch of lines, one central line is missing. It is called a null line or missing line. This line is called null line. So if you observe the vibrational spectra under high resolution, you will see that a single band is composed of a number of lines arranged in a particular manner. Okay. One set of, in the last lecture I told you that one set of lines forms R branch, and other set of lines on the left hand side they form P branch, and the central line is missing. It is called null line or a missing line. Okay, next. After studying the salient features of vibrational rotational spectra, we were discussing the last lecture we have started but not completed. The second article, most important article, the molecule as harmonic oscillator. Molecule is a harmonic oscillator. In the last lecture, we have started this article that molecule is a harmonic oscillator. That we consider the vibration of the molecule as similar to the vibration of harmonic oscillator. So you can apply the model of harmonic oscillator to the molecule. Okay, let us consider HCl molecule. This is nuclei 1. In equilibrium position, the separation between H nuclei and Cl nuclei of HCl molecule is Re. But you know that molecule is performing rotational motion as well as vibrational motion. Here we are going to consider vibrational motion. If Cl molecule and H molecule both are vibrating about their equilibrium position, we are considering the vibrational motion of the molecule. The two nuclei of the molecule, suppose in HCl molecule, two nuclei of HCl molecule, H nuclei and Cl nuclei, both the nuclei are oscillating or vibrating about their equilibrium position. I also mentioned that new oscillation is the frequency of vibration of a molecule. The frequency with which two nuclei of the molecule is vibrating, that is called the vibrational frequency. Okay. Now next. So let us consider the example of HCl nuclei. This is of H nuclei and Cl nuclei. Here we are going to consider the vibrational motion of the nuclei. That H nuclei and Cl nuclei. This H nuclei and Cl nuclei. Both the nuclei are vibrating or oscillating about the internuclear axis. Due to the vibration, suppose the Cl nucleus goes at the end point here. Let us consider the vibrational motion of the molecule. In vibrational motion of the molecule, both the nuclei, H nuclei of HCl molecule and Cl nuclei of HCl, both nuclei are vibrating about the equilibrium position along the internuclear axis. H nuclei and Cl nuclei are vibrating. Suppose during the vibration, Cl nuclei goes at the end point here, then the new separation between H nuclei and Cl nuclei is R. During the vibration, if Cl nuclei goes at the end point here, then the new distance between H nuclei and Cl nuclei becomes R. Instead of R. Okay. So what is the displacement of the nuclei? The displacement of the nuclei is this one. This is the displacement of Cl nuclei. Displacement of Cl nuclei is R minus R. That is called X. So during the vibration of nuclei, when nuclei, H nuclei and Cl nuclei are vibrating about their equilibrium position, then the internuclear distance R is going to change. Previously, the internuclear distance between H nuclei and Cl nuclei was Re. When Cl nuclei is vibrating about the internuclear axis and goes at the end point here, then the new distance between internuclear distance between H and Cl is R. So what is the displacement of nuclei? The displacement of nuclei is R minus RE. That is called X. Okay. If you, in the last lecture we have written that molecule behaves as a harmonic oscillator, and therefore the potential energy of the molecule is taken as half K R minus RE square. What is R minus RE? R minus RE is the displacement of the nuclei, that is X. So the potential energy of the molecule is half Kx square. Half Kx square. You should know here that K is called the force constant of the molecule, and X is the, what is X here? X is the displacement of the nuclei from the equilibrium position. So X is the displacement of the oscillator and K is the force constant. Okay. Now, if you know the potential energy of the vibrating molecule, which is half Kx square, if you solve the Schrodinger equation, we will get the vibrational energy of the molecule. So let us now try to solve the Schrodinger equation for this molecule. Schrodinger wave equation describing vibrational motion of a molecule. You know very well the Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator. So let us start with the Schrodinger equation of a molecule. Schrodinger equation describing the vibration of molecule is d square psi upon dx square plus 2 mu upon h cross square E minus V psi is equal to 0. This is the Schrodinger, well-known Schrodinger equation. You know very well that the Schrodinger wave equation describing the vibrational motion of the molecule is d square psi upon dx square plus 2 mu upon h cross square E minus V psi is equal to 0. Okay. What is psi here? Psi is the eigen function of the molecule, wave function of the molecule. Mu is the reduced mass of the molecule. Suppose you are considering HCl molecule, then mu will be the reduced mass of HCl molecule. Is the total energy of the molecule, and this is the potential energy of the molecule. This is the potential energy of the molecule. Okay. Now you know that H cross is equal to H upon 2 pi. H cross is nothing but H upon 2 pi. And V, the potential energy of the vibrating molecule is half Kx square. The potential energy of the vibrating molecule is half Kx square. If you substitute these two values in this equation, you will get d square psi upon dx square plus, if you put H cross is equal to H upon 2 pi, it is H cross square will be H square upon 4 pi square. 4 pi square will go in numerator, so it will be 8 pi square mu upon S square. E minus the potential energy of the vibrating molecule is half Kx square. Half Kx square. Again I repeat, the potential energy of the vibrating molecule is half Kx square, where K is the force constant and X is the displacement of the nuclei from the equilibrium position. Now this equation can be written as d square psi upon dx square plus 8 pi square mu e upon h cross square into e, 8 pi square mu e upon h square. This is the middle term. 8 pi square mu e upon h square minus this Schrodinger equation of a harmonic oscillator or vibrating molecule can be written as d square psi upon dx square plus 8 pi square mu upon s square into e minus, what will be the last term? 8 pi square mu upon s square into half kx square. 8 pi square mu upon s square into half kx square. So 8 upon 2 will be 4. This 8 upon 2 will be 4 pi square mu k upon s square into x square psi is equal to 0. Okay. So our equation becomes d square psi upon dx square plus our middle term, second term is 8 pi square mu e upon s square, and the last term is 8 upon 2 will be 4 pi square mu k upon s square into x square psi is equal to 0. Okay, let us define two terms. Let us define two terms. We define 8 pi square mu e upon s square. 8 pi square mu e upon s square by alpha. Let us define two parameters. 8 pi square mu e upon s square we define by alpha, and this 4 pi square mu k upon s square under root we define by beta, right? Let us define 8 pi square mu e upon s square is equal to alpha, and under root 4 pi square mu k upon s square is equal to beta. If you know what is mu in this equation, mu is the reduced mass of the molecule, its unit is kilogram. K is the force constant. You know the unit of force constant is Newton per meter. Okay, and Planck constant H. You know the unit of Planck constant is Joule into second. If you calculate the unit of beta, it comes centimeter inverse. So unit of beta comes centimeter inverse. You can try yourself. You will get the unit of beta is centimeter inverse. We substitute these values in this equation. We get d square psi upon dx square plus, as you know that we have defined 8 pi square mu e. We have defined 8 pi square mu upon s square by alpha. So I write alpha here minus. We have defined under 4 pi square mu k upon s square by beta. So this 4 pi square mu k upon s square will be beta square x square psi is equal to 0. So we have to solve this equation in order to obtain the vibrational energy of the molecule. Molecule is vibrating, so molecule has vibrational energy. So if you solve this equation, you will get the vibrational energy of the molecule. Okay. Now in order to solve this equation, whenever you to solve any equation, all mathematical equations are dimensionless. They have dimensionless. They have no unit. All mathematical equations which you study, that all mathematical equations are dimensionless. So they have no unit. So before we solve this equation, we have to convert this equation into a dimensionless form. Okay. Because this equation has dimension. You know what is x here? X is the displacement of the molecule from the equilibrium position. So displacement, what is the unit of displacement? Centimeter or meter. Okay. Again, this x is the displacement of the molecule. Its unit is centimeter or meter. So this equation has dimension. So before you solve this equation, you have to convert it into a dimensionless form. So let us introduce we define one parameter which has no dimension. Okay, because we want to convert this equation into a dimensionless form. So let us introduce dimensionless variable xi. Let us introduce a dimensionless variable xi. What is the meaning of dimensionless variable? That this variable xi has no dimension, no unit. So we define this dimensionless variable by under beta into x. So why we have defined this dimensionless variable by under beta into x? I explain you. The unit of beta is centimeter inverse, and unit of x displacement is centimeter. So this is cancelled. So xi has no dimension. It is dimensionless, right? So let us introduce Let us introduce a dimensionless variable xi, which is defined by under root beta into x. The unit of under root beta is centimeter inverse. Unit of under root beta is centimeter inverse. Unit of displacement x of the molecule is centimeter. So the centimeter and centimeter inverse is cancelled out. So xi becomes dimensionless. So if you convert this equation from x to xi, equation में जो x आता है, instead of x you introduce xi, then your equation becomes dimensionless. Okay. Here, sorry, the unit of beta will be centimeter minus 4. So unit of root beta will be centimeter minus 4. Okay. Now let us convert this equation into a dimensionless form, and in order to convert Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator into a dimensionless form, let us define a dimensionless parameter. Xi is equal to root beta into x. Unit of root beta is centimeter inverse. Unit of displacement is centimeter. So xi is a dimensionless variable. If xi is equal to root beta into x, then value of x is equal to xi upon root beta. So if you put x is equal to xi upon root beta in this equation, then your equation become dimensionless and you can solve it. Okay, so let us put x is equal to xi upon beta. Let us put x is xi upon beta in this equation. So d square psi upon d. Okay, what is x? Xi is equal to, we have defined dimensionless parameter, xi is equal to root beta into x. So x is equal to xi upon root beta. So let us put x is equal to xi upon root beta whole square plus alpha I put as it is minus beta square I write as it is, and here is x square. Okay, x square. Now what is x? X is xi upon root beta. So what is x square? X square will be xi square and square of root beta will be beta. Psi is equal to 0. I write here for your knowledge that we have defined a dimensionless parameter xi, which is equal to root beta into x. We have defined a dimensionless parameter xi is equal to root beta into x. Now, one beta is going to be cancelled. One beta is going to be cancelled. So your equation will become beta, because the square of xi upon root beta square will be xi square upon beta. So that beta will come in numerator, beta d square psi upon d xi square plus alpha minus xi square into beta psi is equal to 0. Your equation will become like this. This xi upon root beta square will be xi square upon beta. That beta will come in numerator. D square psi upon dj square plus alpha. One beta is cancelled. So xi square beta psi is equal to 0. Okay, if you divide this equation by beta, dividing by beta, we get, so if you divide this equation by beta, what we get? Beta, in the first term beta upon beta is cancelled, so first term will be d square psi upon d xi square plus second term will be alpha upon beta, xi square beta upon beta, beta is cancelled, so minus xi square psi is equal to 0. If you divide this equation throughout by beta, you will get, in the first term beta upon beta is cancelled, so first term will be d square psi upon d xi square. The second term alpha upon beta minus Xi square beta upon beta, beta is cancelled, so minus xi square psi is equal to 0. So if you divide this equation throughout by beta, you will get the equation d square psi upon dxi square plus alpha upon beta minus xi square psi is equal to 0. Okay, now we are going to solve this equation. This is a dimensionless equation. This equation is a dimensionless equation. Why it is dimensionless? Because you know that psi has no dimension. This xi is dimensionless. Psi has no dimension. This xi is a dimensionless parameter. Alpha upon beta has no dimension. This xi is a dimensionless parameter. X has dimension, but xi has no dimension because x has dimension of centimeter, but xi has no dimension because the unit of root beta is centimeter inverse and unit of x is centimeter. So xi has no dimension. It is dimensionless. It is dimensionless. Okay. So this psi has no dimension. Xi has no dimension. Alpha upon beta is constant, has no dimension. Xi has no dimension. So this equation is a dimensionless equation. Okay. Now we are going to solve this. Okay. The solution of this equation the solution of this equation can be written as psi is equal to, the solution of this equation can be written as psi, which is a function of xi, is equal to, yes, actually this equation has two solutions. This equation has two solutions. It has exponential solution e raised to minus xi square by 2 and the other solution is e raised to plus xi square by 2. But e raised to plus xi square by 2 solution is not acceptable. Only e raised to minus xi square by 2 solution is acceptable. And here we introduce one unknown polynomial uj. So this is the solution. So you please remember the solution. The solution of this equation can be written as psi is equal to e raised to minus xi square by 2. As I told you, this equation has two solutions. E raised to plus xi square by 2, it is not acceptable. And e raised to minus xi square by 2, the other solution is acceptable. That is why we have not written e raised to plus xi square by 2 because it is not acceptable. We have included only e raised to minus xi square by 2 because it is the acceptable solution. And we have introduced one unknown polynomial uj. So right here uj is an unknown polynomial. As I told you in the rotational spectra that polynomial is nothing but a series having finite number of terms. There are 3 or 4 important polynomials: Hermite polynomial, Legendre polynomial, Bessel's polynomial, Lagrange polynomial. Okay. So in this solution we have introduced unknown polynomial uj. Currently we are not knowing this unknown polynomial. When you solve this equation, you will be able to know that this is a Hermite polynomial or Legendre polynomial. Okay. So please let us try the solution of the Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator can be written as e raised to minus xi square by 2 into unknown polynomial uj. Uj is a unknown polynomial. Okay. And now we are not knowing whether it is a Legendre polynomial or Hermite polynomial. We will find it. Okay. Now we put this solution in the Schrodinger equation. Substituting solution into equation 2. So let us put the solution into equation 2. Okay, because once you write the equation and its solution, this solution must satisfy the equation. Then it is called solution. So solution must satisfy the equation, Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator. So let us put the solution into the Schrodinger equation. So now a square upon dj square. Yes. What is the solution of this equation? Uj into e minus xi square by 2. So I put the solution psi is equal to unknown polynomial uj into e raised to minus xi square by 2. So I have substituted the solution of equation 2 uj into e raised to minus xi square by 2. So solution sign of the Schrodinger equation, dimensionless Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator is u j e raised to minus j square by 2 plus alpha upon beta minus chi square. In the second term, I put the solution psi is equal to, what is the solution psi? That is the unknown polynomial u j into e raised to minus chi square by 2, and this is equal to 0. So in the first term of equation 2, I have substituted the solution psi is equal to u j into e raised to minus chi square by 2. In the second term, I also put the solution psi is equal to unknown polynomial u j into e raised to minus j square by 2. Now let us try to solve this equation. Please remember the solution also. Our solution is unknown polynomial u j into exponential function e raised to minus j square by 2. This is the first term. Second term, you know how to do the derivative of the product of two terms. Just 1 minute. Okay, I will give you the hint. I will give you the hint how to take the derivative of this. Okay. So here d square upon dj square of uj into e raised to minus j square by 2 means it is a double two times double derivative. So we do the first derivative. Okay, d by dj. Let us take the first derivative. Then afterwards we will take the second derivative. Okay, when you take the derivative of the product of two terms, what you are doing? You are keeping one term constant and take the derivative of the other term. So I keep the first term uj constant. I keep the first term uj constant and take the derivative of the second term e raised to minus j square by 2. What is the derivative of e raised to minus j square by 2? E raised to minus j square by 2 into derivative of minus j square will be minus 2j upon 2. Plus, right? So first term uj is constant and derivative of the second term e raised to minus j square by 2 is e raised to minus j square by 2 into derivative of minus j square will be minus 2j divided by 2. So this 2 is cancelled. So you will have only j plus e raised to minus j square by 2. E raised to minus j square by 2. Now let us take the second term e raised to minus j square by 2 constant. So let us take the second term e raised to minus j square by 2 is constant and derivative of the first term uj with respect to j will be du upon dj. Right? So in this way you can carry out the derivative, first derivative of the bracketed term, that uj when the first term uj is constant, derivative of the second term e raised to minus j square by 2 is e raised to minus j square by 2 into derivative minus is minus 2j by 2 plus second term e raised to minus is constant and derivative of first derivative u will be d by dz plus alpha upon beta minus j square uj into e raised to minus j square by 2 is equal to 0. So your equation will be like that. We have taken the first derivative only. We have taken the first derivative only, that d by dj. Okay. Now let us take the first derivative. Afterwards we will do the second derivative. The first term uj is constant and derivative of the second term is e raised to minus j square by 2 into minus 2j by 2 plus e raised to minus second term e raised to minus j square by 2 is constant and derivative of the first term is du by dz plus alpha upon beta minus j square uj e raised to minus j square by 2 dz. Because in the second term there is no derivative. In the second term there is no derivative. Okay. Now, similarly, you can do the second derivative. If you do the second derivative, how do you do? Here you have three terms. Here you have three terms. This minus 2j upon j will be nothing but j. How? And here you have two terms. Here you have two terms. How do you do? How do you do the derivative now? See, you have to keep two terms constant, take the derivative of the third term. Okay? When you are taking the derivative of the product of three terms, you keep two terms constant, take the derivative of the third term. Okay? Then keep the first term constant, second term constant, take the derivative of the third term. Plus, keep the second term constant, third term constant, take the derivative of the first term. Then keep the first term and third term constant, take the derivative of the second term. Okay? And this you know very well. This is the product of two terms. Okay? Keep one term constant, take the derivative of the term. Keep second term constant and take the derivative of the first term. So this thing you know very well. Okay, if you do this, I am giving you for you as exercise because I have started how to differentiate. Okay, I have done the first derivative. You have to do the second derivative. Your final answer will be like this. Your final answer will be like this. If you do the second derivative, your final answer comes this value upon dj square, this value upon dj square minus 2j du by dj plus 2 nu into uj is equal to 0. You will get this type of equation when you take the second derivative. See, I did the first derivative, second derivative I have given to you. Okay, if you calculate the second derivative, your final equation will be like this: this square u upon dj square minus 2j du by dj plus alpha upon beta minus 1 uj is equal to 0. So you will get this equation. After doing the second derivative, your equation will be, your final equation will be this square u upon dj square minus 2j du by dj plus 2 nu uj is equal to 0. Okay. Now this equation is identical to, I told you in case of rotational spectra, I told you that there are fundamental standard equations like Hermite's equation, Bessel equation, Legendre equation. Okay, so in appendix mathematical physics, you will get the standard form of Bessel's equation, Legendre equation, Hermite equation. Okay, if you see the standard form of Hermite equation, you will find that our equation is identical to Hermite's equation. So our equation of harmonic oscillator is identical to Hermite's differential equation. Hermite's differential equation. Okay, so I write the Hermite standard form of Hermite differential equation. It is like this. Sorry, this is not 2 nu. It is alpha upon beta minus 1 beta. Please make this correction. It is not 2 nu. It is alpha upon beta minus 1. Alpha upon beta minus 1. Okay. Now this equation, or Schrodinger dimensionless equation of harmonic oscillator is similar to, is identical to Hermite's differential equation. Okay. So you are not knowing the standard form of Hermite equation. I am giving you the standard form of Hermite equation. It is given by, I am writing Hermite's equation. Hermite's differential equation is given by d square u upon dj square minus 2j du by dj plus 2 nu h xi is equal to 0 equation. This is the standard form of Hermite's differential equation. You just remember, you will find in the mathematical physics book that the standard form of Hermite differential equation is this Hermite differential equation: d square h xi upon d xi square minus 2 xi dh xi upon d xi plus 2 nu h xi is equal to 0. This is the Hermite differential equation, and its solution is h xi, which is called Hermite polynomial. You cannot be able to see here, so I change solution of this equation. The solution of this equation is h xi, and it is known as Hermite polynomial. And our equation has solution psi is equal to u xi into e raised to minus xi square by. Okay, so I have written both the equation. Our dimensionless Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator is d square u upon d xi square minus 2 xi d by d xi plus alpha upon beta minus 1 u xi is equal to its solution of our equation is psi, which is e raised to minus xi square by 2 into unknown polynomial u xi. Now I have written here at the bottom, I have written the Hermite differential equation is d square h xi upon d xi square minus 2 xi dh xi upon d xi plus 2 nu h xi is equal to 0. And the solution of Hermite's differential equation is given by Hermite polynomial h xi. Solution of Hermite differential equation is given by Hermite polynomial h xi. Okay, now if you compare both the equations, the first term is same. Here first term is d square u upon d xi square. Here d square h upon d xi square. First term is exactly same. Second term is also minus 2 xi du upon d xi. Here also minus 2 xi dh upon d xi. So first term and second term are exactly same, but the last term is differing. In our equation, we have alpha upon beta minus 1. In Hermite equation, we have 2 nu. So our equation becomes exactly identical to Hermite equation if and only if this alpha upon beta minus 1 is replaced by 2 nu. So that I mentioned here that our equation becomes identical to Hermite's equation if alpha upon beta minus 1 is replaced by 2. Okay, our equation, Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator, becomes exactly identical to Hermite equation if this alpha upon beta minus 1 term is replaced by 2 nu. Okay, so if you replace alpha upon beta minus 1 by 2 nu, our Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator becomes exactly identical to Hermite's differential equation. Okay, but by comparing our equation with Hermite equation, we have found that our unknown polynomial u xi is nothing but it is a Hermite polynomial h xi. Okay, our unknown polynomial is nothing but it is a Hermite polynomial h xi. So now this unknown polynomial u xi is identified because our equation is identical to Hermite's differential equation, and therefore our unknown polynomial u xi is nothing but it is the Hermite polynomial. You can compare here. Here u xi is equal to h xi, u is equal to h xi, u xi is equal to h xi. So the our equation is identical to Hermite's differential equation. Therefore, our unknown polynomial u xi is nothing but the Hermite polynomial h xi. Okay, this unknown polynomial u xi is nothing but the Hermite polynomial h xi. So that thing we also mentioned here. This shows that comparison of our equation with the Hermite equation shows that equation 4 has acceptable solutions. Comparison of our equation with Hermite equation shows that equation 4 has acceptable solution if uj is replaced by Hermite polynomial Hj. This Hermite polynomial is a function of nu also. Nu, you have different Hermite polynomial for different values of nu. If you take nu is equal to 0, you will have the value of h0j. If you take nu is equal to 1, you have Hermite polynomial h1j. If you take nu is equal to 2, you have Hermite polynomial h2j. So subscript I have mentioned as nu. So this comparison of our equation with the Hermite equation shows that our Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator has acceptable solution if you take this unknown polynomial as a Hermite polynomial. So how to write the final equation now? Okay, the final solution will be let us replace this uj because we have just identified that here instead of u we have h, instead of u we have Hermite polynomial. Here also this unknown polynomial uj is equal to Hermite polynomial. So this our unknown polynomial uj is nothing but Hermite polynomial. So our final solution of Schrodinger equation is this unknown polynomial is replaced by Hermite polynomial hj into e raised to minus chi square by 2. We put some constant here also, that is n or c. N is called the normalization constant. N is called the normalization constant. Okay. So what is the final solution of our Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator has? The exact solution is this unknown polynomial is nothing but Hermite polynomial hj into e raised to minus chi square by 2 into we have introduced some normalization constant n. Okay. Now, as if you compare both the equation, here you can take nu is equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. As I told you, for nu is equal to 0, you will get the Hermite polynomial of 0 order h0 z. For nu is equal to 1, you will get h1j. For nu is equal to 2, you will get h2j. Okay. Now, a comparison of our equation with the Hermite equation shows that our equation is exactly identical to Hermite equation if this alpha upon beta minus 1 is equal to 2 nu. So that I put here. This alpha upon beta minus 1 is equal to 2 nu. Then our equation becomes exactly identical to Hermite equation. If and only if our equation, the Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator becomes exactly identical to Hermite differential equation if and only if alpha upon beta minus 1 is replaced by 2 nu. This alpha upon beta minus 1 is equal to 2 nu, then our equation becomes exactly identical to Hermite's differential equation. Okay. From this, you can find out the value of vibrational energy of the oscillator. Okay. Now, this alpha upon beta is equal to 2 nu plus 1. Alpha upon beta is equal to 2 nu plus 1. Now, putting the values of alpha and beta in this equation, okay. You just see or not in we have defined alpha and beta. Once again I repeat that alpha and beta, we have defined alpha by 8 pi square mu e upon s square, and we have defined beta by under root 4 pi square mu k upon s square. These two quantities we have defined in the beginning. We have defined these two quantities, that alpha is defined by 8 pi square mu upon s square, and beta is defined by under 4 pi square beta upon s square. And our equation, dimensional resonance equation of harmonic oscillator is exactly equal to Hermite equation if alpha upon beta minus 1 is equal to 2 nu, is replaced by 2 nu. So if alpha upon beta minus 1 is replaced by 2 nu, then our equation becomes exactly identical to Hermite equation. So we must take alpha upon beta minus 1 is equal to 2 nu. So alpha upon beta is equal to 2 nu plus 1. Now let us put the values of alpha and beta in this equation. If you put the values of alpha and beta in this equation, what is the value of alpha? Alpha I have written here. The value of alpha is 8 pi square mu e upon s square is the value of alpha. And value of beta is under root 4 pi square mu k s square will go in numerator. Is it right? Putting the value of alpha and beta, we get the value of alpha is 8 pi square mu upon s square, and value of beta, which is in denominator, it is under root 4 pi square mu k upon s square into numerator, is equal to 2 nu plus 1. 8 pi square mu upon s square is the value of alpha, under root 4 pi square mu k upon s square is the value of beta, it is equal to 2 nu plus 1. If you solve this, you will get please remember the solution. In this solution, unknown polynomial is nothing but the Hermite polynomial Hz. Okay, if you solve this equation, you will get 4 pi e. This 8 upon this under root of 4. Yes, what is the under root of this? I can write here. The under root of s square will be h. Under root of s square will be h. Under root of 4 pi square will be 2 pi. Under root mu k. Okay. So if you solve this, you will get 4 pi e upon h. This 8 pi square upon 2 pi will be 8 pi square upon 2 pi will be 4 pi e upon 1 h is cancelled. 4 pi e upon h under root mu by k is equal to, if I take 2 common, then it will be mu plus 1 by 2. So we get this equation. 4 pi square upon 2 pi will be 4 pi. E 1 h is cancelled, so e upon h. This mu upon root mu will be mu under root mu by k is equal to 2 mu plus 1 by 2. Now what do we get? So you will get the energy of the vibrational energy of the oscillator. So vibrational energy of the oscillator is equal to, okay, say this is 2. Okay, so vibrational energy of the oscillator we will get this h goes on right side, h upon 2 pi under root k by mu into mu plus 1 by 2 into mu plus 1 by 2. Okay. Anybody remember what is this term? It's a well-known term. 1 upon 2 by under root k by mu. One upon 2 pi under root k by mu. Just go back to your 11-12 standard. You have studied the simple harmonic oscillator 11-12 standard. You derived the equation of displacement of oscillator, velocity of oscillator, periodic time of oscillator, frequency of the oscillator. So this is nothing but this term 1 upon 2 by root k by mu represents the frequency of the oscillator. It is called the classical frequency. Classical frequency of oscillator. Classical frequency of oscillator. Okay, if you substitute this value here, you will get the equation E is equal to H is a Planck constant. As I told you, this 1 upon 2 pi root k by mu is nothing but it is the vibrational frequency, classical frequency of the oscillator. It is denoted by nu oscillation, mu plus 1 by 2. Once again I repeat, the vibrational energy of the oscillator E is equal to H is the Planck constant. This 1 upon 2 pi root k by mu is called the classical frequency of the oscillator. You know the unit of frequency is nothing but second inverse. Right? So vibrational energy of the oscillator is H. This 1 upon 2 pi under root k by mu is the vibrational frequency of the oscillator limited by new oscillation into nu plus 1 by 2. Okay, so this equation gives the vibrational energy of the oscillator. Please remember that in case of rotational spectra, we have solved the Schrodinger equation of digit rotator, and we got the rotational energy of the molecule like this: H upon 8 pi square I J plus 1. This is the equation of rotational energy. By solving the Schrodinger equation of rigid rotator, we got the rotational energy of the molecule H upon 8 pi square I J plus 1. And by solving the Schrodinger equation of harmonic oscillator, we got the vibrational energy of the oscillator is H nu oscillation, nu plus 1 by 2. H is the Planck constant, nu oscillation is the classical vibrational frequency of the oscillator having unit second inverse. This nu is the number, quantum number, as I told you, it is called vibrational quantum number having values 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Right? Okay, so this equation gives possible or allow, this equation gives allow values of vibrational energy of molecule or oscillator. So this equation gives the vibrational energy of the oscillator. So from this equation you can calculate the different values of the vibrational energy in the different energy states. So this equation gives the allowed or possible values of vibrational energy of the oscillator or molecule. Please remember this. 1 upon 2 pi root k by mu is nothing but it is the vibrational frequency of the oscillator. So this way we got the equation of vibrational energy of the oscillator. Okay, now let us write down the energy of the oscillator in different states. In the ground state mu is equal to 0. In the ground state mu is equal to 0. The vibrational energy of the molecule in the ground state nu is equal to 0. The vibrational energy of the molecule will be, you put nu is equal to 0 in this equation. So 0 plus 1 by 2, that is 1 by 2 H nu oscillation. In the excited state nu is equal to 1. What is the vibrational energy of the molecule? You put nu is equal to 1 here. 1 plus 1 by 2, that is 3 by 2 H nu oscillation. In the vibrational level nu is equal to 2. The vibrational energy of the molecule is H nu oscillation. 2 plus 1 by 2, that is 5 by 2 H nu oscillation. Right? So in this way you will be able to know the vibrational energy of the molecule in different vibrational level. In the lowest vibrational level nu is equal to 0. The vibrational energy of the molecule will be H nu oscillation. 0 plus 1 by 2, that is 1 by 2 H nu oscillation. In the vibrational level nu is equal to 1. The vibrational energy is H nu oscillation. 1 plus 1 by 2, that is 3 by 2 H nu oscillation. And in the vibrational level 2, the vibrational energy of the molecule is H nu oscillation. 2 plus 1 by 2, that is 5 by 2 H nu oscillation. Okay. Now you can see here that in the ground state the vibrational energy of the molecule is not 0. Right? Okay. It is not 0. It is 1 by 2. It is 1 by 2 H nu oscillation. 1 by 2 H nu oscillation. What is the name of this energy? This energy is known as 0 point energy. So I write that feature also. A spatial feature of quantum mechanical oscillator. A special feature of quantum mechanical oscillator is the existence of zero point energy one by two h nu oscillation for lowest state nu is equal to 0. So in the lowest vibrational state nu is equal to 0. The energy of the oscillator is not 0. It is 1 by 2 h nu oscillation. This 1 by 2 h nu oscillation is called the 0 point energy of the oscillator. This is called the 0 point energy of the oscillator. Get it? Clear? Okay, we stop here. Okay, we have derived the equation of vibrational energy of the oscillator and also written that vibrational energy in different vibrational levels. Thank you so much.